really, really excited and happy to be in this call with you guys.
Well, I'm Maria Laura from Venezuela. I've been working at Tecla for the past 4 years, and I'm also pretty excited to have this chance to connect with all of you, also to connect with the team from Brazil. Actually, this is my first ever presentation in English, so I'm a little bit nervous, but mostly excited to get a time to connect, to get to know you, and to share about what we do here at Tecla and how we can improve our careers and how I'm really passionate about that. So this window to even share a little bit of our knowledge from our career paths with you guys is really valuable. So thank you so much for being here and giving us a bit of your time. Maripaz, I don't know if you can help me out sharing the presentation.
Of course.
So we can start.
Of course. I'm gonna share the screen. Let's see. Okay, done.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, so let's get right on it. We are going to talk about the do's and don'ts of working remotely and how you can land your next opportunity in the remote market. And for that, I would like to start by telling you a little bit about my background. I am actually a journalist. I never imagined that I will have a career in something related to recruiting, or let alone something related to technology. So with this in mind, I honestly believe that no matter where you're from, no matter your background, no matter like where you coming from, you have a place in this industry because it's very broad. Here at Tecla, we take pride on being a pretty open and inclusive community. So I would like to take a little bit of your time to introduce you to Tecla and what we do. So if you can help me and set up the next slide. Great. So what we do here at Tecla, basically we exist to connect the best talent in Latin America with amazing companies in the US, Canada, or even in Europe. Our core is mostly America. That means the US and Canada, but we have some amazing clients working in Europe. And throughout the years, we had several companies from every kind of industry that you can possibly imagine. And we have like a pretty broad and wide range, as we have worked with Fortune 500 companies and very promising startups that have grown to become unicorns inside the tech industry. We started back in 2012 in Peru, building software, and we had always technology on our side. So then by 2015, if I'm not mistaken, we switched to recruiting. And ever since that moment, we've been building the company that we are right now. And we have over 20,000 engineers in our network. We like to see ourselves more like a community than a database, because we like to have that sense of connecting with people. We like to give like the extra mile in order to move forward with our candidates and to see them like more than just a number. If I'm being honest with you, Brazil takes a pretty big chunk of this community that we have, and I truly love that. Like the passion that I've been seeing around and the amount of talent that I've been seeing in Brazil in specific, it's amazing. It's so rich and so enriching to see people from your country thriving in companies in the United States. I believe what makes Tecla different than any other job board is that we provide like a full companionship throughout the hiring process of our candidates. When you start with us, we like to walk you through the process. We like to come with you and explain you what the company does and walk you through each and every one of the interviews. And we like to build long-lasting relationships, not only with our clients, but also with the candidates that are part of our network. Hence, that is a sense of community that I was just telling you about. The thing that you can do to be part of Tecla is essentially to have a good English skills and have a lot of drive to get things done. That's it. That's pretty much what you need to succeed in almost every industry. Like that drive to do things, to be the best that you can do. And one of our missions here at Tecla, and this is something that I really take seriously, is that we are on to lowering and bridging the gap for Latinos in the US tech industry. So right now, I would like to invite you to join me and see a little bit of statistics on that panorama and where are we as Latinos in the tech industry. So right now, if I can give you like a little bit of a backstory to where we're coming from. As you already know, we work with the US market, and that's mostly our core business. So right now, I would like to speak about some facts in this particular space. Basically, in the US tech market, we as Latinos represent just 2% of the workforce. This is very, very, very low. And it's kind of sad because when it comes to working remotely, to being offshore talent, this statistic is a little bit higher. And right now, given so many changes that I'm sure you're all aware of, working remotely has become like the thing. Right now, US companies are changing in that spectrum a lot and trying to find really good talent through Latin America. And since this has been growing really rapidly in the past couple of years, Brazil is not an exception of this area for a lot of time. Back in 2004, Brazil was already a huge asset, a very attractive country for when it comes to hiring offshore. If we come a little bit closer in the calendar, in June 2018, this company called Agile Engine conducted a study about the 14 sourcing destinations that were more appealing to the United States. And even considering Europe and Asia, Latin America was in the top of the countries. Of course, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Colombia were coming in the top of the list. On that very same year, another company called HackerRank, maybe you're familiar with this, and Top Coder did like some sort of rank where countries like Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and Colombia were in the top 50 of the list of companies that were going to be like in the projection of the coming years, like in the top of the market for US companies. Even when we compete with giant markets like China, like India, Latin America continues to be an ideal place for finding amazing people. And due to the growth of the talent of the people that we have here and the proximity that we have geographically and culturally with the United States and Canada, that makes us like a little bit easier to contact that other markets. With all of this being said, like I'm not a very person of numbers, but with all of this being said, I want you guys to take this, that right now is the best time for you to be here. And because remote working is not going anywhere anytime soon. So this is the best moment for you to take the next step and the next leap in your career and try to make it in this industry. Because as I told you at first, there's some space for everyone here. So if we can go to the next slide, I would like to walk you a little bit through how you can do to get there. Basically, my advice to everyone is to prepare, to know your skills, and keep getting ready to work, because that's going to be the thing that maybe makes a highlight for you and maybe does the difference between you and any other candidate. It's a fact that this is a very hot moment in the industry, so you have a ton of competition, but you have a way to make it if you're willing to do it. I know right now, each and every one of you have different and completely valid goals. Maybe your dream and your aspiration is to work as a big leader on a company, or you want to work alongside big leaders in companies, CEOs, CTOs, or whatever acronym is fashionable at the time. But if you want to get there, you have to know that the importance of your goals and how you try to achieve those goals is to enjoy the full journey to that point. And right now, finding entry-level jobs in this industry is not an easy task, but it's not impossible. Right now, we're seeing that American companies are in the need of talent faster than ever. So hiring entry-level candidates might not be as appealing to them, but this experience with whatever you have in your hands right now it's really great going forward. Like that is the base, that is the element that will help you thrive and move forward and probably in life the next steps in your career. So the journey to working remotely is to start by working closely to your skills and like polishing them to be a better developer. I believe right now Maripaz can add a little bit more into what's his journey like and her experience. I'm sure it'll be enlightening for us all. Oh, I think she can unmute herself. Can you please invite her to unmute? Yes. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we're waiting for the host to unmute Maripaz, and she will be sharing a little bit more about her journey and how. Yes, she's writing in the comments down below. After she gets to her points and we end up this presentation, we're gonna have a quick session of questions. So feel free to get ready with any questions that you might have, any doubts that you might have, and how you can land your next job working remotely with US companies. So I don't know if the team, Maripaz, can you press Alt-A? Does that work?
No. I think that now, okay, yeah, I'm already on mute. Awesome, great. So, well, thanks a lot. And Maria Laura, thanks a lot for sharing this information with us. As Maria Laura was saying, this journey is really important, this remote work journey. So the first thing that is really important to know is that your CV is gonna be your first impression to the company. So make sure that you have your CV really well organized, that you're sending out the important information regarding the position that you're applying to. So for example, if you're applying for a full stack position that is a Python React, make sure that you're sending out these technologies in your CV. So, the company, will look at that relevant information first. And besides your CV, another really important thing to stand out is in your first interview. Okay, so your first interview is gonna be like your second first impression. So right now, I'm going to tell you some things that we highly recommend you to do while you're doing your first interview, and things that you should avoid totally while doing your first interview. So I will start telling you the things that we recommend you to do in your interview. So the first thing is to dress appropriately. I know that right now we're having remote work, that people, if you want, you can have an interview with your pajamas on. However, your camera needs to be professional. So make sure that from the bottom, from the waist up, you have a professional look. Yeah, the second thing is find a space that's quiet and comfortable. I know that while you're working remotely, maybe there's like your family in the house, or maybe there's like the gardener outside. So make sure that you're in a room without anyone else, that it's quiet, that it's comfortable, that you know that you're not gonna have outside noise, to prepare yourself for this. The third thing we recommend you to do is to research about the company and the position you apply to. This will make the company think that you are really interested, not only in the position, but also to be part of their community and to the company. The fourth thing we recommend you to do is to have a question list ready. They will ask you, well, in most interviews, they'll ask you like if you have any questions after the interview or anything like this. Maybe you won't have any questions. However, if you do ask them like, what is the day-to-day in the company? What are the next steps? Well, when will I know my feedback? This will also make you look interested in the position and in the company. The other point that we highly recommend is to take notes and learn potential answers. Something that really is like an obstacle maybe when having an interview is the nervousness. So to avoid being like blank, or it is important to have like maybe possible answers that they may ask you. Like, for example, can you tell me a little bit about your experience with X technology? So you already have that answer prepared. So maybe if you're a little bit nervous, you already practice it before the interview. So you will avoid being just like blank or avoid answers like, I don't know. And the last thing we recommend is to stick to examples that are specific and concrete. So you know, if you go to an interview and you tell them like, hey, yeah, I have experience with React or Python. It's like, okay, but can you tell me a little bit more about maybe a specific project or, you know, your role there, the results you had? This will give a clearer view of your experience. Now, we will tell you things that we really recommend you not to do. So please avoid this while you're doing your first interview. So the first thing is having an interview in a car, a crowded or loud space. So for example, I've had interviews with people that they receive it in their cars. And it actually shocks me a lot because it's like, okay, this is a professional interview and you're receiving it in a taxi. So, so please avoid doing that. Try to be in a calm space in your room, some place that is not moving. So, you know, you won't look unprofessional. The second thing we don't recommend is not checking your Wi-Fi, your camera, or microphone. We understand that sometimes you're going to have Wi-Fi problems or camera problems or etc. But it is important that we notice it in advance so we can tell the company like, hey, sorry, I'm having some Wi-Fi problems. Can we please reschedule their call? And yeah, so oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, there you go. So yeah, just to avoid these things, it's better to check that everything is in order before having that interview. The third thing we recommend not doing is going to an interview without knowing anything about the company. It will, you know, it will show that you're not interested in working for this specific company, that you just want a job and that's it. And that's not something that the company's cultures are right now looking for. They want someone that really wants to stick to their company, that that are interested in knowing about what the company does and being part of it. So the fourth thing is telling basic idea without further explanation. So it's something similar that I was telling before, that it is really important to stick to specific samples so the people get to know a little bit more about your specific details of your background. The other thing is being late, of course. It's something that we should avoid always. Eating during the interview, it's something that I don't know if you think that it's all right, but please don't do it. And the last thing is looking tired or to yawn. I know that sometimes we can get tired or we can be sleepy, but if you're feeling that way and you know that you're having an interview, drink a coffee or try to wake up yourself, you know, shower in cold water to avoid these types of things. And well, now those were like the things that we recommend you to do and the things that we don't recommend you to do while in an interview. Oh, I see that Arthur is raising his hand. However, I believe that we're going to have our questions and answer section at the end of the call. So we will answer your question in a moment. So, well, work environment. Is working remotely for me? You know, working remotely can have its good things and its bad things depending on your personality, on what you like and how you feel more comfortable working. So for example, some good things about working remotely is that you can manage your time as you want. Most of the jobs work with goals. So if you can manage your time in your day-to-day to complete your goals, that's all right, that's a pro. You can work anywhere you want. You can be in the beach, you can be in the mountains, you can go to your friend's house and you can still work while you're anywhere you want. Also, it shows that you're an independent person, that you can organize yourself, that you don't need someone to be like on top of you, telling you what to do and what not to do. And the last thing is that it's also environmentally friendly. So, well, in Costa Rica, one of the main pollution causes is the cars. And I believe that it happens all around the world. So with remote work, you stay at home, you drive less, and it's better for the environment. So now maybe the not that good things about working remotely that it's also important to take into consideration is that it's really difficult to separate your personal and your professional life. Because as I was telling you earlier, you work in your house with your family. So, maybe, your mom tells you like, hey, can you please help me do like grocery shopping or something like that, and maybe you're like working, or maybe you have like noises in your background, and that's like maybe something that it can be an obstacle. However, you can figure a way maybe to manage that, but it is an obstacle depending on your situation. Another thing is maintaining organization. If you're not that independent and you need like someone to be like on top of you, managing your work, and maybe remote work will not be the best thing. The third thing is home distractions. Well, like I was saying, maybe the gardener is outside, maybe your dog is barking. There are a lot of distractions that maybe you won't have in a physical work. And isolation. As you know, it is different working remotely, because of course you can talk to your coworkers in a meeting or over Slack or emails, but it is really different than to having someone face to face beside you, working together, helping each other out. So maybe that's like another thing that it's like something not that positive about remote work. But yeah, so well, that's kind of it. That's all the information we had for you. And well, this is our information. This is Maria Laura's email and her LinkedIn profile, and this is mine. So if you want to contact us, if you have any more questions after this call, you can reach out to us and we will be more than happy to answer you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions right now, Arthur, I saw your hand. So if you have anything to add or any questions, we'll be happy to take them now.
Well, it was just a simple question. You were talking about how it is forbidden to eat during an interview, but water is okay, right? Just a glass of water, something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Water is all right, but
yeah,
I can't live without this.
I cannot live. I have mine.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah,
water is all right, but maybe like there's people that sometimes like, they're having like their lunch and taking the interview, and yeah, that's not very professional. So
yeah, and if those points are there, it's because we've lived through that. So we've seen a lot in the interviews, like people eating or eating snacks. Like it's disrespectful at the end of the day. But if you have water, it's no big deal. No
yeah, it's totally fine.
No, yeah, sure. It looks like you can't hold, your time and schedule a meal. Give priority to the interview. Come on.
Exactly.
But thanks. It was only this. Thanks a lot.
Julho, how are you?
Hi, girls. Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to ask, can I ask something about roles, seniority, like junior, mid-level, and senior?
Yeah.
Okay, of course. What do you want to know about that?
Like usually when you're applying for a job, may it be from LinkedIn or Glassdoor, nowadays the junior positions, they're asking for 1 year or 2 years. But then I think to myself, wow, I just finished this bootcamp. So if I want to reach 1 year of experience, should I be tackling like freelance projects so I can show at the interview? I feel a little bit lost about that. I was wishing you could put some insight into that.
Absolutely. And actually that was one of the things that I was discussing a bit when I said that the companies, when it comes to the US market, they see juniors in a little bit of a different light, because what they want is someone who has a bit of experience and can solve the things that they need at that moment. Like one of the barriers for entry-level jobs or for junior positions is that companies are expecting to find people for, let's say, a good market rate, because they're hiring at a higher market rate that they will hire in Latin America. So they're offering higher salaries and they're expecting people to maybe compensate a little bit with that salary and having a couple of years of experience. But when it comes to having your experience right fresh off a bootcamp, you can find other type of opportunities, but we do always recommend to have some freelance projects, some like any other gigs, like you can build your portfolio with that, and you can showcase that to companies, because sometimes they say they are looking for someone with 1-2 years of experience, but if you can prove like you have just 1 year of experience with all that you did, all the job that you've been doing in your career, learning and everything, you can show like a really strong and steady portfolio that can make the difference. So yeah, they see junior developers like from a range to 1 to 2 years, then mid-level will be like something around 3 to 4. And when we're saying 5+, they are considered seniors in this case. So yeah, my recommendation will be for each and every one of you to build a very strong portfolio, and anything that you can add in there counts. Working projects in your bootcamp and any freelance, like the website that you build for your friend, that can be in here, and that can be outstanding even. Yeah.
I also wanted to add something real quick, that it's also really important to update your LinkedIn profile. Like if you complete a project, make sure that you have it on your LinkedIn profile, because that's like the main tool recruiters use to look for candidates.
Yeah, exactly. And anything that you can add in your LinkedIn, in your CV, that counts. And when it comes to maybe impressing a company, just like you will need to add the right wording and make your CV like tailored to the job description. If you really want the position, my recommendation is to tailor your CV to what the job description is asking. Like, of course, you're not gonna lie on better, but you're gonna put like in the best light the abilities that you have that can land with that job.
Yeah, like if you're applying for a PHP role, make sure that your LinkedIn profile has PHP all over the place. PHP in your summary, PHP in your work experience, everywhere.
Exactly like that.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Julio. Leandro?
Hello, good evening. So, what's the average wage of a web developer entry-level job?
Okay, that is a very, very interesting question. It varies from company to company and from industry to industry, but I can give you like an approximate range of what they're expecting to offer someone in this kind of position, and it's somewhere around 2.5K per month to 4.5K per month. That is like a starting salary for US companies in the events that you have just a couple of years experience in your hands.
Okay, and you say that suppose that I have some projects in my portfolio, I can right away at the end of this bootcamp to look for companies in US to work for?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can look at that. Right now in Tecla, in this very moment, we don't have many openings for this kind of profiles, especially for full stack developers or for front-end developers or back-end developers. At this moment, we don't have any junior positions, but we do open from time to time some junior roles. But you can always rely on job boards like us, like Tecla, maybe looking on LinkedIn, and that's like the best way to find those kind of remote jobs. Like always keeping an eye out on different job boards.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem, my pleasure.
Pedro?
Hey, good evening. What kind of hiring politics can we expect from abroad companies? Do they hire us like third-party contractors, or do they have like a direct hiring relating the candidate and the employee to the employer? It's like we do here in Brazil. I think they might have some visa issues, and that's my doubt.
Oh, well, actually, oh, sorry, Laura.
No, go ahead, please.
Oh yeah, no, that it depends on the company, because for example, at Tecla, we have like different type of hires. You can be directly hired by the company and we don't do anything else. But also you can be hired through Tecla and work for the company. So it depends mostly on what the client is looking for. And also what you said about Brazil, is that with the direct hires and the money, international payment and all of that, you will need a persona jurídica. That's the way I say it in Spanish. I know that in Portuguese is different, but If you get hired by a company in the US and they'll pay you internationally, you'll need to have like your own persona jurídica. However, I believe that it is not that hard to get, because
No,
I've
it's
worked with
fine.
different candidates that have done it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We
Ashley.
have another question, Ashley. Yeah.
Good night, everyone. The question is, do you guys look for a minimum number of projects for a junior developer for you to consider this client candidate or no?
Can you please repeat? I think I lost you for a second.
To consider a candidate for a junior position, do you have like a minimum number of projects that you look for? Or if the person has 3, 2, 1, do you consider them still for the role?
Okay. No, I got it. No, there's no limit on that kind of projects. What they review mostly is the time that you have working with each given technology. So it's not a matter of how many projects have you worked, but the amount of time that you have working in there and the quality of your products, of course.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have a question from YouTube, but first I would like to let you all guys know that most of our opportunities, to reinforce a little bit what Maripaz was saying in the last question, most of our opportunities are direct hire opportunities. So that means that you'll be hired directly by the companies in the United States. And the other ones, the staff acquisition opportunities, are to work through Tecla. Those are fewer ones, but they also exist. And we, of course, support you through the hiring process in each of those ways of being hired. So with that in mind, I would like to invite you all to join Tecla. I will leave the link in the chat so you can look it all up in there. And before going, I don't know, Maripaz, if you want to take this last question from YouTube. What are some tips for tailoring resumes to US companies? Is it different from traditional CVs that we use in Latino countries?
Okay, that's a really good question. Actually, I've never worked with Latino companies.
Tô vendo aqui.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Igor,
Rick.
did you have a question?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's
I was
okay, so,
muted, sorry.
oh, that's all right. So, well, I've only worked with US companies, so I know how to read CVs for US companies, but the most important things that you need to add is the company, the name of the company you have worked for, the role you had. It is also important to have like 3 to 4 bullet points explaining like your main functions and the result you had in your past experience or in your projects. Like, for example, I was for this specific project named whatever, I was the lead front-end developer for this position, and I work with this and this technology. It is really, really important to send out all the technologies you have worked with. And also, if you're applying for a specific job that is looking for this specific technology, make sure to change it and to stand out that technology in your CV.
Another recommendation that I will say that maybe makes different the Latino CVs than the resumes that we see in US companies is that they don't add pictures, not that often as
yeah.
they do. And they also don't add the information that I've seen this around a lot, like when you add your marital status, where you add like your home address. When you're looking for a remote job, your home address is not that relevant. Maybe you can just mention the city that you live in.
Exactly.
Your birth date, it's also not that important to put in there. If you want to put it, that's completely okay, it's valid, but it's something that we don't see around as much as we do in Latino resumes. Like, that's the main difference. And another thing that we see a lot is that in Latin America, there's like a tendency to put your resume in like from the oldest job to the newest that you want. You put the newest one down below, but that's not right. Like, the correct way to do that and the way to highlight the best that you have to give to each company is to put on top what you're doing right now and go from there.
Exactly.
Pero You have
And
another
also,
question, Taylor.
oh,
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Sorry.
add something real quick, that also something really important is to add the start and ending date of your projects or work experience. It is really important. So this way the recruiter knows like, okay, this person has this in years of experience. And also if you remember, also add the months.
Yes. That's absolutely
Now,
right. Please don't overlook that.
yeah. I think that now Pedro. I think you're on mute.
Thanks.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
great. I come from a background of architecture and urban planning, like zero code. Is that important for me to highlight my previous experiences on that market? Or I know that's like I have 10 years of experience, but I do have like soft skills that I have developed during my experience as an architect. But is this a strong point? Is this recommended for me to highlight these points and point like some companies that I have worked with, or it's like expandable?
You can add that, but maybe not that in detail as your experience as a developer. Like maybe just have like the company you work for, those are the years of experience, maybe like not 3 to 4 bullet points, maybe just like one sentence. I'm telling your main skills and your main results. There.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and if you can add something to that, you can also put like a little summary where you said like, hey, I'm an architecture. I don't have any like many of experience in that. You can add like a couple of sentences to describe yourself and to say how those skills that you learned as an architect can help you succeed in your path to become a developer. So use any literary resources that you can do. That will be amazing. That will also set a difference for your profile.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Welcome.
My pleasure.
Now, Bulan, that's how I pronounce your name? Bulan?
Yes, this is me.
Great.
Thanks. First of all, thanks for the excellent presentation. My question is, before recruiting somebody, where do you look more? I mean, if it is LinkedIn, I mean, which part of our resume take more attention or receive more attention? Did you get my question?
To which part of your LinkedIn profile do we pay more attention?
Yeah, but not only that one. I ask also, where do you look more? I mean, only the LinkedIn. Is there another website do you look more to search about the candidate?
Okay. Well, also GitHub. It's really important to have like your GitHub profile updated, but LinkedIn is like the main platform we use to look for candidates.
Yeah, LinkedIn, it is the best option for us to look for candidates. Although we also use GitHub, and we do use our database of candidates. As I told you at first, we have around 20,000 people in our database that we contact, and we try to, when we have opportunities that might be relevant to them, we always like to share it with them. And I know sometimes I get tired of us, but we do it like in the best effort possible to find positions that might be attractive to them.
And what do you look for there? I mean, within the LinkedIn, where do you look? I mean, which part of our resume or the CV receiving more attention?
Maybe
absolutely your working experience.
Your summary and working experience, exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah, like for real, I have told this like I don't know 5 times in this call, but I highly recommend you, like if you want to look for a job with a specific technology, please try to highlight that on your LinkedIn profile, because recruiters usually do like a really quick screening, like, okay, looking for the important words. And after they see the important words, it's like, okay, I'm going to read in further detail what this person experience is like. Julho?
Hi, girls. Another question I had when I was updating my LinkedIn, when I insert the skills, like I choose which skills I have, like Ruby, Rails, SQL, PostgreSQL, HTML, LinkedIn recommends that I do a skill assessment test, which I can maybe achieve a badge, like a reward. So my question is, do recruiters consider that achievement, or it's nothing to worry about?
It's a plus. It's not like the main thing we focus on, but it's a plus. Like if we see that you have like the check on that specific skill, then it's something like, okay, this person mentions this technology in his work experience, in his summary, and also in his skills, and has the check. So it's like, okay, the whole package.
Yeah,
All right,
to be honest, I do take it into consideration, but it's not, as Maripaz said, it's not like the main deal. If you don't have it, it's okay, it's fine. But if you do, it's like, okay, this person took some extra time to validate. Maripaz, we do have a very good question from a student here. Wagon is telling us in the chat. Does Tecla have positions for data science, DevOps, product manager, or only developer positions?
Oh no, we do have positions for a lot of different roles in the tech industry. So yeah, we have data science roles, data analyst roles, project managers, product managers, machine learning directors, machine learning engineers, everything. Okay.
Pero, hello.
Try it again, please don't punch me. Lots of times when I see some positions and some roles open in LinkedIn, we do see the link for the recruiter. Is there a nice way and an efficient way to access that person with some nice message that you might pay an extra attention for the candidate? Like, I don't want to flood any LinkedIn. I don't want to send my CV like it doesn't mean anything, but I would like to have an efficient way to get in touch with that person and show her that I'm really interested, and so she can pay like an extra attention on me and maybe take a look with more effort on my background and my credentials and all that stuff. Is there a nice way to do it?
Maripaz, do you want to take this one?
Okay, let me see if I understood your question. Like to reach out to the recruiter, like you're reaching out to the recruiter. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Like for real, I always, like when I post a job, I always tell people like, hey, please reach out to me. I put my email. It shows that you're interested. And that is something really, really important. If you reach out to me, for example, you tell me like, hey, Maripaz, I saw that at Tecla, you have like this position open. Can you please look at my CV? It will make me think like, okay, this person is really interested. So, you know, if you have like most of the requirements, we can take into consideration even more.
Okay, but is there like a nice way to do it, or like is there a secret code that the recruiters have? Like,
okay, let me tell you something, and it's like insider information here. We tend to be confused and mix up a lot with bots. Like people think we're bots. Like we're constantly sending you profiles and constantly sending you opportunities and everything, so you can review and see if they are good for you, if you're interested in them. And when it happens the other way around, we appreciate it so much. Like I cannot stress enough when you see us as persons like, hey, I saw your profile. I know you're working on this. I know you have this opportunity available. What do you think about my profile? It's amazing, honestly, because like any way that you contact someone should be very professional and very person driven. Like never forget you're speaking with someone else. Like across the screen, you have someone else, like flesh and bones. So it's like, we have a ton of people being rude or not wanting the opportunities we might be able to provide and offer. But when you are interested and you know that there's someone else behind that screen, you tend to react different than what you will do if you're talking with a bot. When you're talking with a bot, you only say unsubscribe, and that's it. There's a person behind that. So if you have like a warm approach, of course, in a very professional manner, it'll be very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can reach out over email or over LinkedIn messages. It's the same thing.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, anyone else have anything else that they would like to add? Well, I think this has been amazing, and we can wrap it up right now. You have, Maripaz, I don't know if you can scroll a little bit and put our information there. Feel free to contact us. Remember, we're not bots, we're people. We'll be more than happy to speak with you and tell you about any opportunities that come up with Tecla. The invitation is for every one of you to join. I left you the link in the chat, and well, you have our information there on the screen.
Yes, for real, feel more than welcome to reach out to us. It will be a pleasure to have your CV and to have you in our database.
Totally. I hope you have an amazing evening, guys. We're gonna log out right now, and we'll leave you to the rest of the conference with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you.